Remember that goals should be SMART, specific, measurable, aggressive, realistic, time-bound. Let's briefly look at each one to see how it relates to effective goal setting. First, goals should be specific. That is, they should be in definite terms, and, in most cases, you should strive to write them down. A good exercise for staff members whenever there is doubt as to what is required of them is to ask them to write it down. It might be surprising to find how many times this is easier said than done. Obviously, if one cannot clearly explain what is required or what is to be done, the likelihood of actually doing it is low. An additional benefit of committing goals to writing is it serves as a means of clarifying communication and avoiding misunderstanding. Written goals allow the trainer or manager to ensure that the trainee is striving for the right things. The trainee also knows that they can be confident that they know what is expected. The second ingredient is measurable. Goals should be defined in terms that lend themselves to being measured in order to provide good feedback and determine progress. Goals that are poorly defined in measurable terms are most likely never achieved. Think about the receptionist that is asked to improve her phone skills. Which is the better goal? To say, get better at answering the phone, or strive to answer all calls by the third ring, with no one on hold for more than 1 minute and always using the appropriate script? Certainly the second goal is much more specific and leaves little room for misunderstanding what is required. It also has elements that can be easily measured to determine whether or not desired performance is achieved. The third item is aggressive. This means that goals should involve being stretched beyond current limits and should demand effort and investment in order to achieve it. Goals that are too easily reached don't have the ability to improve performance or motivate people to do their best. All of us can think back to those people that had the greatest influence on us, and in most cases, it was the ones that demanded the most from us. Goals are the same. At the same time, goals must be realistic. If the bar is set too high and no progress is ever made, discouragement and disappointment will be the result. Again, this should include a dialogue between the trainer or manager and the trainee. By discussing together what is expected in specific and measurable terms and making sure that a balance is struck between being aggressive while also being realistic, effective goals can be set. Finally, goals should be time-bound. This simply means that time should be budgeted into the process and that budget followed. The most common cause for failure of a training program in most veterinary hospitals is simply this: no time is scheduled to do it. The expectation is created that training will be done. The demand for the results is there, but no time is allowed for the training to actually be accomplished. This creates frustration and ultimately failure. It also communicates in no uncertain terms what value is really placed on training. When time is allocated to conduct training, the clinic is very clearly sending the message that it is important. However, if no time is budgeted and only lip service paid to the goal-setting and training process, the message is equally clear that training is not really that important. Which message do you think will most likely result in improved performance? Here is a formula that sums up the elements of effective training. Ask plus goals equal IR, or attitude, skills, knowledge, and goals equals improved results. A final note on attitude. It's not only the trainees' attitudes that matter. Remember that we've defined attitudes as habits of thought. If managers and trainers have the attitude that training is just another task to be done, rather than an ongoing process to drive improved performance, then effective training will never take place. The most effective training programs are driven by those that have a clear vision for what the improved performance will be, the process or program in place to achieve it, and the commitment to see it through. Such a hospital will be rewarded with a staff that consistently performs as they should and delivers quality results to your clients.